None of us wants to be the bad guy. None of us wants to cause trouble or be difficult, particularly if there are expectations that we feel we have to meet no matter what. Whether it's a work email or a text from a friend, it feels perfectly natural to say yes at all times, even if the situation may be daunting and time-consuming. After all, our entire lives have been molded over having a can-do attitude. But when was the last time you said no to anyone? Truth be told, we aren't doing ourselves any favors by constantly saying yes to everything. Even thinking about saying no can actually feel weird or even rude and ultimately wrong. However, everyone has their limits, and you are no exception. Saying no is an essential tool to help you create boundaries and manage expectations that others have of you. But we often overlook this tiny superpower that can actually work wonders for our mental health. Because of this, we find ourselves constantly working long hours or going to events that we have no interest in just because we're afraid of sounding impolite. Therefore, saying no goes hand in hand with making time for the things that you love and helping you feel good about yourself. The more we say yes and avoid saying no, the harder we're making things for ourselves in the long run. And it all boils down to how saying no makes us actually feel: uncomfortable and awkward. Simply being put on the spot when we want to say no to a request instantly swells anxiety. We feel our heart pounding and our words stuck in our throats. While our gut is screaming at us to say no, we end up saying yes, simply because it's the easy way out and keeps the other person happy and satisfied. But this is not actually creating any sort of balance, as you put yourself at risk of being stressed out, overworked, and resentful. Ultimately, there's no shame in saying no. You don't have to validate yourself or justify the reasons behind it. Only you are capable of doing the math on how much time and effort you have to put in for a certain request. You don't need a good reason to say no. It could be because of your personal preferences, existing priorities, scheduling conflicts, but it's not something that you need to explain in great detail. The final decision is yours, and it is one that you make after careful consideration. That doesn't mean you start raising your hand to refuse every little thing. There are always going to be responsibilities that you have to take care of and say yes to, whether it's at work or home or even your own health. The goal here is to be able to trust your intuition about something that you know perfectly well will be overtaxing for you, and make a mental reasoning over what you should do in all good conscience. What exactly does saying no do for you, though? Tons of things. For starters, it makes you understand the value of your time and schedule, so you'll value your yeses even more. If it's something that you love and enjoy doing, it's definitely worth saying yes to. This way, you'll make time for things that add value to your life rather than take up your time unnecessarily. Furthermore, your yeses become more powerful and not just a passive answer to everything. You begin to stand up for yourself and say no to relationships and friendships that bring you grief, or extra assignments, or projects that you know you cannot do efficiently and on time. You can also say no to people who want you to buy into their opinions or agree with things that stand in contrast to your beliefs. Not just that, you should also learn to say no to yourself and listen when your inner voice tells you that you're about to make a bad decision. If you're thinking about getting yourself something you know you cannot afford, there has to be the inner voice that will tell you no, even if it hurts. Most of the time, you will have to push your desires aside and think of the long term. This has been Low, The 7 Ways You Can Deal with Depression, written by Cyrus Brown, narrated by Russell Newton. Copyright 2023 by Cyrus Brown. Production copyright by Cyrus Brown.